guys, welcome to Books and Blue Stockings. I'm Betty Bookworm and I read way too much into things. And not only do I read too much into things, I also love to watch Grey Gardens on a loop. I love to hand knit vintage dresses for paper dolls, and I love playing Mozart on the ukulele. None of these facts are relevant to my character or to the review, but they sure make me look cute. So I'm sure many of you are aware of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl trope. The term Manic Pixie Dream Girl was first coined by Nathan Rabin when he was describing Kirsten Dunst's character in Elizabethtown. He described the archetype as, quote, that bubbly, shallow, cinematic creature that exists solely in the fevered imaginations of sensitive writer-directors to teach broodingly soulful young men to embrace life and its infinite mysteries and adventures. That was a mouthful. Really? So Manic Pixie Dream Girls, or MPDG's, main character traits are as followed. Overtly high-spirited personality, quirky, though quirks don't impact the character or story at all, eclectic style of dress. Primary character objective is to help protagonist, normally a male protagonist, through some emotional or existential crisis. Now, some people believe that characters like Ramona Flowers, Marla Singer, and even Renee Thomas from our Book of the Month are MPDGs, but I'm not too sure. Ramona Flowers may have a funky sense of style, but she's not really high-spirited. And instead of quirks, she has evil exes. And while MPDGs are often seen as nothing more than pretty plot devices, Ramona's exes are treated more like devices than she is. Also, she never makes Scott Pilgrim's problems her main objective. If anything, he makes her his main objective. However, she's still treated like less of a human and more like a fantasy prize. Marla Singer has the socially unacceptable quirks down pat. I mean, she walks out into heavy traffic and infiltrates self-help groups for terminally ill people. But these quirks actually do pertain to her character. She's not manic, she's apathetic and depressed, and probably a tad bit suicidal. I think it's pretty safe to assume that she's not actively trying to reawaken the narrator's lust for life. She's passively trying to end her own. Though Marla doesn't make the main character her primary objective, she still acts as his muse to create Fight Club. Now, Renee Thomas is not a cinematic character, but this trope works in literature as well. Now, Renee is pretty bubbly despite her gothic appearance. Locke even calls her a poser at one point. And though she does try to help Locke with his anger issues, she doesn't put up with his whiny bullshit with the same effervescent sweetness as a normal MPDG. And she doesn't really have quirks, she has crippling mental disorders. So these women aren't manic pixie dream girls, they're the opposite. But what would we call them? Well, I'm assuming you read the title of the video, so Depressed Succubus Nightmare Girls! The girls who aren't bubbly. The girls who have legit problems rather than just silly quirks. The girls who, though they may play a significant role in the main character's storyline, their primary objective is not the protagonist. And I have to admit, it's really refreshing to see characters who aren't all wearing vintage dresses and playing the ukulele. However, it still kind of bothers me that these archetypes only exist for the betterment of a main male character. But I do understand that that's just the archetype, and every story uses archetypes. And just because the dream girls and the nightmare girls are tropes, doesn't necessarily mean they aren't good characters. Next time you're watching a movie or reading a book, ask yourself this question. Would I be interested in watching a movie or reading a book based on this girl's story? If the answer is yes, you've got a good character. If the answer is no, you've got a pretty plot device. What examples of depressed succubus nightmare girls can you come up with? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I'm Betty Bookworm and I read way too much into things. Now, wow, that was huge. Oh my God. Holy. I have a problem. Wow. Woo! 2 for 2! Woo! Yeah!